Welcome to Info and Info's episode on brides.
I've got women who marry towers and rides, Romanian bride kidnapping blindsides, seeking a wedding stranger who hides, celebrity wedding crasher guides. But first, they stand by their monster's sides. Brides.
Until death do us part.
Maggie Gyllenhaal's The Bride follows in a long line of bride horror movies. Who can forget The Bride of Chucky? Jennifer Tilly's character can't resist Chucky's boyish charms. Things get steamy, and then they try to kill each other. Next is Bride of the Monster by notoriously awful director Ed Wood. I'm not sure who the monster in question is here. Lobo? Dr. Vornoff? Or the giant octopus that lives in the basement? It doesn't really matter because the bride doesn't seem to like any of them. Finally, we have the OG Bride monster movie,
The Bride of Frankenstein.
Not sure how she made the title since she is only in the movie for 3 minutes, and she only has 2 lines. And after she rejects Frankenstein's monster, he destroys the lab. Despite her small role, Maggie Gyllenhaal loved the bride's character and was driven to find out more about her. At least in this version, the monster finds love. Without her knowing, I tested my wife to see if she would love me if I was a monster. Okay, this is for couple compatibility.
What happens if we're not a good couple?
Well, then we're gonna get divorced.
Would you still love me if I killed several villagers?
I guess.
If body parts randomly fell off my body?
No, I don't think so.
What if I had scales and gills?
Ooh, no.
Now I get the monster's pain.
She ate me.
Brides!
Unforgettable.
Sing it, big boy!
Okay, you've got the cake and the wedding dress and the fancy decorations, but what you really need to set your nuptials apart is a celebrity wedding crasher. Kristen Stewart crashed a same-sex wedding. Snoop Dogg crashed a Hindu wedding. Jason Momoa crashed a wedding by the water. Zach Braff photobombed this couple. Beyonce and Serena both crashed in bathing suits. Here's Adam Sandler, Paul McCartney, LeBron James, John Travolta, Robert Pattinson, Lady Gaga, The Weeknd, and Jason Segel getting very cozy with the groom. However, the committed celebrity wedding crashers don't just happen upon wedlock and take a pic. Elijah Wood surprised a couple who were getting married at the Hobbiton movie set in New Zealand. Taylor Swift showed up for one of her biggest fans' weddings, performed, and gave them this very sweet card. Keanu Reeves is a serial crasher, always sticking around to take photos with everyone, including the kitchen staff. But the OG wedding crasher is Tom Hanks, who has done it so many times it's impossible to count. He even married a couple. Here's the thing. What if you don't want a celebrity crashing your wedding? Let's see how they like it. Justin Bieber's wedding. Kevin Hart's wedding. And Jay-Z and Beyonce's wedding. Brides. She finally figured out who the stranger at her wedding was. Michelle got married back in 2021. It was a lovely ceremony, blah, blah, blah. While she and her husband were looking through the pictures, she spotted an awkward-looking dude in almost all the photos. She asked all her friends and family. She posted it on Reddit. Finally, after 4 years, she asked content creator Daza to see if his followers knew him. And Andrew Hillhouse came forward and sheepishly admitted it was him. He'd been running late to a wedding and saw everybody going into the church, so he followed them in. He said you can't really walk out of a ceremony in the middle, so he just tried to hide, which is difficult at 6 foot 2 inches tall. When the I-dos were finally done, he tried to leave, but the wedding photographer corralled him into one last group shot. The two have since met and hit it off. For fun, let's see how well Andrew can hide in a kindergarten class. A wading pool, and the African savannah. Brides! There are some weird wedding traditions, like removing the bride's garter with your teeth, and then there's Romania. I mean, Romanian weddings seem pretty crazy to begin with. All the guests are like your quirky Aunt Dorothy. However, things get even weirder. One of the big wedding traditions they have is kidnapping the bride. Friends of the groom literally storm in and steal the bride. They then negotiate over the phone for her release and take her to an agreed-upon location to swap her for some ransom, which is usually several bottles of alcohol. Why, you may ask? It goes way back to the early days of Rome when there was a violent mass bride kidnapping. Romans abducted women from neighboring Sabine to help populate their city. So sweet. This is how they celebrate their honeymoons in Romania. Brides! Sometimes a woman in your family is getting married and you're just not sure about the guy. What will it be like hanging out with a dude at Christmas that is 1,000 feet tall and weighs 10,000 tons? Erika Eiffel married the Eiffel Tower and is the founder of OS International, an organization for people that have strong, often sexual feelings for inanimate objects. Is it that common that they need an organization? Yes. This woman is in love with a plane and took 30 flights on it in 1 year. This woman is in an open relationship with a 91-year-old chandelier, Lumiere. This woman plans on marrying her game of Tetris. Before Tetris, she was in a relationship with a calculator named Pierre. This woman married the Santa Fe train station that she has been in love with for 36 years. They have sex mentally. As for Erika Eiffel, she has moved on. She denies it's because she has fallen in love with a fence. I think it might have to do with this picture that leaked online.